All right, you guys, back at you with another one. This is Raw Detroit. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Don't miss an upload because we're going to continue to talk about the NFL draft. We're going to continue to talk about ways the Detroit Lions can get better in 2022. And we're just going to always talk about the team as a whole. But right here, this guy right here, Aidan Hutchinson, definitely in my eyes, is making a push and making a case to be the #1 draft pick overall. With the type of performance that he had against Ohio State, definitely you have to put Aidan Hutchinson on the big board. This guy kind of reminds me of a J.J. Watt, a T.J. Watt, whatever you want to say. But this dude plays with a motor that does not run out. He plays with the fire and passion that you want. If you're Detroit Lions, this is the type of pass rusher you do want. Now, it's no knock to Mr. Kayvon Thibodeaux, because definitely a lot of people have Kayvon Thibodeaux going #1 to the Detroit Lions. But I'm going to say now, with the type of performance that Aidan Hutchinson had, you got to think about Aidan Hutchinson on the big board. Now, I know that Kayvon pretty much on everybody's mock draft has been the #1 guy. But now you need to think about Aidan Hutchinson if you're the Detroit Lions. The type of performance he had his father had a record at Michigan for 11 sacks. And now he has surpassed his father, Chris Hutchinson. I believe he had that record in 1992. It was held by him. Aidan Hutchinson against the Ohio State Buckeyes ended up tying that record. But not only did Hutchinson, the son, Aidan, end up tying the record, he also had a performance where he surpassed it and became Michigan's all-time single-season sack leader. So Aidan Hutchinson broke the record of David Bowens and Lamar Woodley. Both of them had the record for 12 sacks in the season. And now that solely belongs to one, Mr. Aidan Hutchinson, who had a dominant performance, showed up big time against the Ohio State Buckeyes. Didn't know how that matchup was going to go, because for the past 11 years, the Ohio State Buckeyes have owned the Michigan Wolverines. And today was a dawning of a new day. Michigan goes out and finally gets a victory against Ohio State. Ended up winning that game big time in a quite impressive win and quite impressive performance by Aidan Hutchinson. And I definitely think that this kid is making a push to be the #1 pick taken in the 2022 NFL draft. Hutchinson is a beast. I love everything that this kid brings to the table. And the Detroit Lions definitely need to make him a point of interest. Hutchinson right now on the season, and I believe they still got 2 games remaining because they have the Big Ten Championship, which Michigan will be going up against Iowa for the Big Ten Championship. And then that Michigan will be in a bowl game, even if they don't make the playoffs and they happen to lose against Iowa on Saturday. So we'll see how that happens and what transpires with that game. And that's going to be a lot of indication on what's going to go on. But if he has another dominant performance in these next 2 games, man, that he plays in, Aidan Hutchinson definitely could be my #1 pick overall. And I know you're saying, why would you take Aidan Hutchinson? Well, I simply told you, the kid has a high motor. He plays with fire. He plays with that edge. He plays with what the Detroit Lions need. And that's a dog, a werewolf, a silverback gorilla, whatever you want to call it. That's what the Detroit Lions need. They need premium talent in this draft this season. To be able to get the Detroit Lions to go ultimately to the places that you want to see them go as a fan, they're going to have to get premium talent. I've been talking about it for a long time. You need to get your werewolves and your silverbacks, your dogs, whatever you have to do. You got to go out and find some of the best talent around the country. And you got a guy right now in your own very own backyard who's possibly the #1 college player right now in the country with his play. His dominant performance definitely has earned him a keepsake this season to be talked about. Aidan Hutchinson is definitely going to be remembered as one of the hardest workers at Michigan, putting that work in. And the Detroit Lions have this guy right in their backyard, and they could take this kid. So it just depends on if they're sold on Kayvon Thibodeaux being the #1 guy, or did Aidan Hutchinson do enough to make his case that he should be the #1 pick in the draft that's coming up season. I would definitely take this kid #1. And it's no knock to Kayvon. I just love a lot that Aidan Hutchinson brings to the table and to the game of football, the IQ that he has, the smarts that he plays with. Right now, currently on the season, Hutchinson has 54 tackles. He has 14 and a half tackles for loss, 13 sacks, which is a Michigan record. He now holds that record. He has 3 PDs, 1 fumble recovery, and 2 forced fumbles. So this guy has been busy this season. He's been all over the place. And not only have he been good, his sidekick has been good as well. David Ajabo. He's been phenomenal as well, right behind Aidan Hutchinson, making his case to be taken in the first round. So definitely, man, the talent is there. Is the fire and the passion is there. The Detroit Lions just got to make the right selection. And to me, this is no knock to Kayvon Thibodeaux. I definitely think he is a very, very talented defensive end and pass rusher. But I also got to put some respect on Aidan Hutchinson's name. I can't not be able to see the hometown guy for another guy. I got to be able to put my eyes on that hometown guy and say, like, man, what do we have here? We have a guy making that push. If the Detroit Lions decide to take him at #1 overall, I think that Aidan Hutchinson would definitely be a great pick for the Detroit Lions. They just got to be sold on it. The scouting team has to be sold on it. Brad Holmes has to be sold on it. Dan Campbell has to be sold on it. But I definitely think that he would be the guy in the face of the new Detroit Lions. And whether or not that happens, we don't know. Because they can still decide to take someone else. They can either take Kayvon Thibodeaux. They can take a Kyle Hamilton. They can take a Evan Neal. Whatever they decide to do is the Detroit Lions' prerogative to do whatever they want to do with this pick. But please, Detroit, don't mess this pick up. The talent is there. Now you must seize the opportunity, seize the moment, go and get a special guy, go and get that premium talent that you've always needed. Aidan Hutchinson is that dude that would bring you everything that you need at that defensive end position. The guy is just relentless. He doesn't stop. He keeps coming. I never see this kid taking a playoff. And those are the type of guys that I like to see for the Detroit Lions. I don't want to see guys taking plays off. I want to see a guy bringing it every time he's out on the field. So my expectation of Aidan Hutchinson is that this kid can be the #1 pick overall. Why not Aidan Hutchinson #1 overall? Why can't this kid make his case? I definitely think if he in his next 2 games, if he come out and he's dominant like he was against Ohio State, this dude has to be in the conversation. He must be on the big board. You got to bring him up in the meetings. Do we take Hutchinson or do we take Kayvon Thibodeaux? What should we do? Because if you see the way Aidan Hutchinson is playing and how he's dominating, how could you overlook that? How could you pass that up? When you see somebody in your own backyard doing the things that he's doing and being effective and dominating a football game the way this kid is dominating at Michigan right now, you can't ignore that. You can't ignore that, Detroit Lions. The talent is there with Aidan Hutchinson. Aidan Hutchinson is a beast. And I want to see this kid be a part of the Detroit Lions. I would love to see him be a Detroit Lion. It's up to the Lions to make the case whether or not that's what they want to do, whether or not they're sold on Kayvon Thibodeaux, because it seems like every mock draft and every other media exec or whatever has the Detroit Lions taking Kayvon Thibodeaux. But I just want to say that I believe that Aidan Hutchinson is making a push and making a case to be the #1 pick overall. The talent is there. It's raw. The instincts is there. The football IQ is there. Everything is there and it's raw. All right, you guys, this is Raw Detroit. I'll be back to you soon with another video. Until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.